Hello everyone. My name is Mike. That was pretty neat, right? Anyway, I'm a fan of Harry Potter, right? I grew up on the books and the movies, and naturally when I end up in London, I end up going to the Warner Brothers studios. And like every person that ends up in the Warner Brothers studios, I go through the gift shop in the end. You know, this is enough multicam. It's gonna be too much to edit. Anyway, I saw them selling these cheap plastic ones at the gift shop, and instead of just buying one there and then, I thought I could try and make a worse version of myself out of wood with one of the scariest machines I have in the workshop, the lathe. All right, let's get to it. First steps first, powering on the table saw and cutting a tiny sliver of wood off. I will then proceed to slicing it up on the bandsaw and squaring it off somewhat. This will be easier for me to round off the piece of wood on the lathe. Once it's rounded off, I can scribble on a few reference points, which are where I'm going to be wanting to carve out a bit more wood than the others to get the initial shape going. I can then hook it onto the lathe again and pencil in the whole way round. I'm so new to this tool and machine, and I am still very nervous about using it and hooking the tools onto the spinning wood. So this was a great test and a great project to practice my wood turning skill, which is very much a work in progress. I'll put the one to the side and start on another little stand I want to do, which is for a turntable necklace I found at the Harry Potter store. I found this lovely piece of hard wood and I wanted to go with something super simple, so I just sliced it flat, sanded it down, kept an angle at the top, and it should do the trick. For the wand, I had this vision of a wand on a stand and a little sign underneath the wand that had the logo of Harry Potter, so I cut up this tiny leftover piece of wood and used a tiny flamethrower to be able to engrave the logo on it. Super delicate to engrave on such a small shape that's already cut off, but did the trick and worked perfectly well. One last super sketchy thing with the wand, I'm going to hand carve the final sort of texture to match the Elder wand even better. Super sketchy, and I'm scared to lose my hands. Once that's done, I modeled a tiny little stand that I can wedge onto a wooden platform, and voila. I do know the Elder wand is usually much darker. I have a few options for this. I could paint it, I could char it, or I could dye it, and I don't know which one to do. So if you have any recommendations or whichever one I should try, let me know and I might make a short to update this project. Otherwise, as always, if you watch my previous videos, enjoy this B-roll. See you later.